Right, hello YouTube. We're back with another From the Depths mod review, and today we're going to be looking at just checking the name, Ship Decorations Pack. I think you can probably see from this little arrangement I've set up on deck what this adds, but this adds a whole bunch of primarily decorative elements to decorate your ships with. Let's clear these off quickly, and then we'll be taking a look at what they've got. It's pretty extensive. There's a lot of parts of this mod. Some stuff, I don't know if it was stuff that wasn't in the game originally, but I believe basically all of it is new. We'll start from the top. As usual with the mods, I check what it has its own, what do you call it, section, and yes indeed it does. There's no description for it, but oh well. First up, we've got some railings, including some in shapes that the base game doesn't have, like this big round fella, for example. As mentioned, these are primarily decorative, so yeah, so we have a big semicircular railing in various sizes. We've got various curves. All sorts for form-fitting to your nice ship. If you're wondering about the curves, this mod is designed, although I don't have it installed, to go with the expanded slopes, I believe it is, mod. Which adds curved sections, so you can build sections to go with that. But there's also a great deal of diagonal sections, including, again, for the expanded slopes mod, such as the 8-meter railings, etc. There's also, there's only one type for some reason. There's also wooden railings. Perfect for your pirate galleons and whatnot. There's assorted decorations, which adds a bunch of things from doors on diagonals. All functional as far as I'm aware. Various capstains, windlasses and whatnot, which, for if you don't know, are basically components for bringing your anchors in, or deploying anchors, I believe, at least anyway. I think capstains might be general, just tying stuff up to. Now that I think about it. Various funnels. I don't believe these are, decorative. As I say, I don't believe these are functional, but these would be for air intakes on real ships. Various forms. Rope. Your cables and things. Even more funnels. Various sizes. Mushroom-shaped vents. These little fellas. Paravanes. This is like an anti-mine device. Actually, strangely enough, my grandpa used to work on a ship that had some of these in World War II. These would, effectively, you'd have two of them. You'd deploy them out the back on a cable, and they'd have a cable between them. You could steer them a bit and adjust the depth. And the idea was that you'd basically drag the cable behind a very shallow ship that hopefully won't set the mines off, and it would slice through the cables on the mines and cause them to float to the surface. So I thought it was quite interesting that they added those in. There's box-shaped vents from small to... I mean, that's big, right? Like, the Gargant class is not a small vessel by any means, and that's big. Not quite sure what kind of ship would need something that big. More anchor winches. I believe you'd use this sort of thing, for example, on the front of a battleship, where the anchor cable goes down into the deck. Capstone Chain. Check what else there is. I believe it's mostly doors. Again, doors in these sort of armoured slopes. Nice and tough. Good way to get a door in. Awnings. And covers for them. Keep you out of the rain or the sea. Ammunition lockers, some of which, including a functional and a decorative version. So the functional one will explode like real ammo storage. But it will also, well, actually store ammunition. And there's also the 40mm version as well. Different type of ammunition. Next up, after these sorted, we have funnels. This adds, if I'm not inside it, well, the parts to make custom ship funnels, basically. We'll go do a large one quickly. So, for example, usually these consist of stackable pieces, some variety, sometimes sloped, sometimes angled, and usually a top piece that is actually semi-functional. So it goes off smoke. Same as the game's smoke generator. In fact, I believe it is the exact same as the smoke generator. When your ship is doing this, something has gone wrong. And as before, I should mention really, these go kind of enormous. Especially this one. Huge funnel straight transition piece, which is to translate from, I believe, the large one to the huge one? No. To that one. For your, I think, Japanese-style battleships and destroyers. I don't know about destroyers, that's probably wrong. Cruisers, I think, had that sort of funnel. There's also these single-part cranes. Which, wow, the model preview does not really do that one justice. Is that adjustable? No, I was going to say, I think it's just one model. A slightly smaller crane for lifting in maybe your lifeboats, maybe your seaplanes. Small jib cranes that definitely would be for lifeboats. Another cargo. I think those are fairly self-explanatory. Decking blocks. Yeah, there's new types of decking. Reinforced decking, however, I think is slightly already in the game. However, they do add these ones which have the sort of metal rim on the sides to blend in with the side of your ship. And as mentioned, because it's designed to go with the expanded slopes mods, they get bigger than the stock game ones. They'll go to 8 meters. That is a good mod. I don't have any plans to cover it currently, but it is one I could recommend you guys check out, maybe. Windows. These are, I believe, look at the stats. I believe basically glass blocks, 120 health, 5 armor, 10 weight. Let's have a quick look. 150 health. A little bit weaker than glass, if anything. But, you know, it's a window. But they come in different variants that have the sort of window frames on them. Good for your bridges. Unfortunately, the Gargan doesn't have much of a... There's a little bit of a bridge, but it doesn't have much of a bridge to decorate it. This was very much me trying to create a more functional ship. I think it was actually quite dangerous. Ladders. Yeah, again, I think that pretty much explains itself. Little stick-on ladders. Parts for custom cranes. Ah, yes, I believe this is for, effectively... I'm not sure I'm going to be able to build one of these, because I can't remember how these go together off the top of my head, but I believe these are for gantry-style cranes, where you would have a sort of overhead beam running around the place, and then with a hook sort of hanging down. I'll leave it up to your imagination how you put one of those together, but I'm sure it's not too hard to work something out. The models themselves are excellent either way. More railings. I believe these top railings... I was about to say I think they're supposed to go on top of something, but maybe not. What is the difference with these? Is it because they're smaller? Yeah, I think these might be a bit lower, actually. A bit lower down than the stock game railings. Let me just very quickly check that. Decorations. Railings. No, not necessarily lower down, but a different style. There they go, more options. I won't worry about showing all the variants for a lot of these, because as you can see, it's all the stuff that's in the stock game. It's just variant for this particular situation. Railing expanded sizes. That's more of them for the larger parts. Teak decking. If you want a slightly different feel on the call it the armored decks, I believe these are basically the same, but I will double check. Health 900, armor 24, weight 100. Might be a little... Maybe a little weaker, actually. That might just be a case of the game has had some minor tweaks instead, and it was originally supposed to be similar, but I do very much like the look of it, and it's got these variants with the... like the metal rims on them. So again, could make some very neat-looking decks if you spent the time on it. Wooden bulwarks. Wooden railings, effectively. There's also some variants. Yeah, as you can I imagine that's a bit of a slope on it, right? I believe there's variants for going around corners. I could be completely wrong. There's also these ones with a little hole in them, presumably to let out seawater. Yeah, I was going to say, it should be diagonal somewhere. So wedges for the front. I'm sure I don't need to explain these. You can work out where these will go on your ship. But effectively, there are more options for railings. Curved railings again. I believe these are the same as the other railings up here, but curved. Non-slip decking. I believe this is meant to maybe represent sort of more of a modern ship's deck. Maybe like a carrier or something. It does have a little bit of a sort of tarmac-y asphalt look. But, yep. Similar sort of idea. It's an armored deck top. Flared bulwarks. Now these are the ones that sort of slope outwards. So that could also be an interesting look. You can use that on your pirate ship, perhaps. And they have both diagonal and transition to flat versions. So if you want a bit of an interesting shape on your ship, certainly not a bad way to do it. Equipment. Or in other words, a bunch of stuff what you might find in a ship. Fire control computers, electrical boards and things, gauges, styles. I believe there's a sort of stick-on-wall radio-looking setup there. Actual radios, drills for your ship's repair systems, telephones. Might need to make an emergency call, you never know. Welding torches of 3 different varieties, I believe, of welding and cutting torches. Oh, no, not 3, it's just a table as well. I don't know if I've mentioned it yet, but this mod really does have a lot for decorating. I'll leave some of that for you guys to perhaps look around in future. Searchlights! Oh, they've actually built one now. Oh, excellent. Yeah, so these are meant to be put together in a specific way, and I believe... Ah, excellent. Yes, they've done it for you. But you can build them custom yourself out of different pieces. But these, I believe, will... They are just lights. They don't do damage, but they do look rather nice. Let's see if it'll... I believe it should point to a ship like a weapon would, although it might need a controller on it. Ah, yes, it does. Yeah, so it's designed to point to targets like the rest of your weapons would. Nice little bit of thematic stuff there. Guess I could show you which targets your ship's looking at. And I believe the searchlight itself can be customized like the rest of the in-game lights. You set the power and angle and everything, but I will just double check. Yeah, I'm not imagining it. Next up. The searchlight rigging. Yes, you could get actual physical wires for rigging your ships in a variety of different sizes. There's also various pulleys to go attaching them. I believe you'd mostly use these not so much for regular ships, like regular rigging. It's not like sail rigging. This is like radio masts and things. And various other things you'd have up in the air. There's various like double to single splitters or double to triple. Single to triple even, I should say. I believe there's also triple wire. Yeah, single, double, and triple. And various little brackets and things for attaching the wires together. It's another one where it's very much a look up real ships. If you want to use this sort of thing, maybe look up how they use it, or just use your imagination a bit. Metal bulwarks. These are exactly the same as the wooden ones, but obviously visually, not so much visually. You've got the same sort of thing. You've got the ones with like the gaps in them, or scuppers, I guess they call them. It's interesting that's high up. I thought they were for draining water, but maybe not. There's also the additional sizes. So again, for the expanded blocks. Catwalks, which are basically metal platforms for walking on. Nice and skeletal, so they're very lightweight. There's both girder and non-girder forms. There's also these supports. Although I'm not entirely sure how that's supposed to... I think that's supposed to go like that. If it's sticking out the side of something. I don't know if there's like a plane... No, maybe not. I was going to say, I don't know if there's like a plain catwalk piece that's just a flat panel, but not as far as I can see. Stairs. And yes, we do have some stairs in-game, but they've added some more options. The basic stairs are fairly self-explanatory, but there's things like stairs that are steep with a railing on one side, like this one, or... In fact, yeah, just steep stairs in general. There's also stairs with no railing. There's stacked, which is, I think the idea is so you can stack them on top of each other. I'll just double check that. Not entirely sure on that, but I think that's the idea at any rate. Offset ladder. That's interesting. That's actually offset inside the block. Proper access to floor hatches, I see. On alloy? Huh? Oh, a ladder with a block built into it. Well, I guess the other way around, a block with a ladder built into it. Various support pieces for the stairs. All sorts. A lot of these probably would take a little bit of learning to get to use properly, but I'm sure it wouldn't take anyone too long to work them out. Various bits of furniture. Tables for your metals. Various styles of chair. The literal kitchen sink. Your battleship can have this too now, including everything else. No longer is it everything but fridges. Chairs of various sorts. Captain's chair. Engage. Which I should be able to sit in. Yeah, there we go. Captain Rambot. There he goes. Modern lights. Functional, of course. Hanging lights from the ceiling. Whether I can actually show that off, I'm not quite sure how you... Yeah, not actually sure how you hang that down, considering the catcher appears to be in the wrong place. If I turn connection rules off, I guess. Oh no, that's still floating. I'm not actually sure how you're supposed to do that, but oh well. I'm sure there might be a guide on the thing. Hoods for vents. Chip's kitchen. Ah, like a serving table. Actual just straight up kitchen table. Cabinets. You're probably getting the idea. Captain's desk. The sink. Again. Locker, or small lockers. Fold up bunk bed. Very naval quality. Could be worse, I suppose. It's better than nothing. Ovens. Mixing machine. Wow, I've worked with some of those, I think. Yeah, you get the idea with that. I guess I'd call them non-combat decorations. Ah, where were we? There's equipment, furniture. Radars. A few varieties. Radar 3, sorry. Radar Mast 1. Go on top of your ship. I don't believe any of these are functional. No, just decorative. And this sort of, almost a bit Japanesey style, I think. Big square. Mast. Gimbal tracker. Okay, so that one is functional. Ooh, okay, I hadn't seen these. Ah! This, you can probably see, in fact, even what I was taking inspiration from here. So this is a rangefinder. So this is literally, if you said the rangefinder parts in games, this is the sort of thing they're based on. I don't know if that's supposed to be on a turret. Also the larger variant. Of course, you can assemble these out of various different components yourself, if you wish, but that's kind of how they're supposed to go together, I believe. Don't know if they're on a turret by default. No, but I believe they would also be designed like these on turrets so they can rotate. Shoot down the duster. There's also the Mark 37 Director. I believe this is the same sort of idea. It's another sort of rangefinder style device. Yeah, you can see it's got the Quintessence rangefinder at the back, the radar dish at the top. And yeah, these actually, I believe, have... Yeah, they actually have detection systems in them, so these are functional. And the Mark 38 Director. Ooh, that's interesting looking with the thing. But yeah, so various different types of rangefinder equipment that look very nice. Curved bulwarks, it's the same as the metal bulwarks, but they go around corners. Flared, it's the same as the ones with the angle on them. The wooden ones with the angle on them. Steel deck panels, which there are a lot more of than I expected. I believe these are, yeah, sort of flat, basic metal paneling. I'm going to assume these are basically cheap decking. Yeah, non-stick on the top. Decking on the bottom. LWC? Ah, local weapons controller that can be concealed within your deck. It's this nice functional parts. Ah, circular plates. It is not impossible to build around even in the base game, so you could use this, for example, with those round railings. Oh dear, my nose, sorry. Nose decided to choose that moment to get very bugged up. We have various paddles, larger slopes, larger corners. Very large round sections. And again, they do have attachment points on them by the look of it, so I believe that is so you can use the various curves with them. Huge variety of those. Interior deck panels. Same idea with different colours. More textures. Oh. Also just grey or green. Tread plate. Aluminium step plate. And I believe that's the majority of it. Edge piece. I see. So the edge pieces have the extra rail on the side as well. Many variations. I wouldn't envy the person who made this having to model all of those tiny little variations in them. Did I miss that one? Mast blocks? We'll do that next. Mast blocks. I think I missed this. These are literally designed to build larger radar masts. Again, similar sort of idea as you can see I've built here out of the base game. Some will get quite large, as you can probably see. 30-meter tripod mast. Comes in multiple parts, presumably, so it's not just one gigantic model. So you've got, I think there's 3 different scales of these. The 21-meter, the 30-meter, and whatever the other one is. We'll check in a moment. 15-meter, by the look of it. I believe those top sections are the same diameter as the stock, like poles, 1 meter, so you can build your own tops to them, or you can connect them to your own stuff. There's also these sort of masts that are narrower, with a bit more texture on them. It's another one you probably need to sort of check out yourself to get the full idea of how they work, but there's various different sizes. There's some that, there's some that are also like offset by a block. It's taper. I think taper is the thinner section. Top connectors to connect between the various different sizes and whatnot. I'll go horizontal. Wireless receiver in that one, so you can connect that to your own systems. Wires designed to connect into them. Those can go with the pulley wires, I believe. Flagpoles. There's all round block. I think that's most of it. Oh, and there's also the mast. Oh, mast ladders. Ah, I see. Right, these are not what I thought they were. I believe these are lined up with the... Yeah. They line up with the rest of the radar masts, so you can stick them on. It looks neat. And I assume they're climbable as well. Yeah, I was going to say, I thought there was also a square sort of lattice mast. This mast even, I've said mast so many times, it's losing all meaning and my voice is dying. This ship is starting to look very strange with all these decorations on it. But yes, I'm sure I don't need to explain what you could do with those. Use them for your radar masts and your detection systems and whatnot. I've realised I missed the bulwark section, but I believe these are just more... Yeah, it's more the same, more covering different situations. Lifeboats, one of the last thing now. So you've got everything from your little case of emergency ring to full-on lifeboats of various sorts. Smaller diameter lifeboats. Stacks of them. Don't know if there's a... That was like a... Is that mid-size? No, that's a small one. Is that an extra large or is this the same? Kind of looks the same size, right? Oh no, that is larger. Yeah, so various different sizes of lifeboat. And I believe that is it for the ship decorations pack. So yes. Overall thoughts, would I recommend? Excellently modelled. They look great. You could even see from my ship, like this is just from me taking inspiration from real life ships. You can see where some of my inspiration has come from because of, well, again, you look at these and say, yeah, you can see what both the game designers and I was working off of, kind of thing. Points for a lot of some of these parts being functional, like the rangefinders on these, so they're actually usable in real ships. I very much appreciate a lot of the parts having local weapon controllers or wireless receivers hidden in them. That makes it a lot easier to make your ships look nice and convincing, which of course is the whole point. And the support for the extra slopes mod is really nice as well. So yeah, just all around excellent mod, fully recommend. Not even necessarily just for people who aren't too bothered about the ship's look. Like, there are functional parts in here like the decking blocks and things, and if you want to make your ships look better, even just a few of these can really spruce it up. So yes, excellent mod, fully recommended, even if less explosions than I would have liked. And I realised about 2 seconds after filming, like, wait a minute, I haven't actually shown any ships that have been built quite heavily with this stuff. The good news is, I have some I made before. This was from an attempt at the campaign at some point. I can't remember how far that attempt got, but yeah, this was, I think, using a slightly earlier version of the mod, but it looks like all the parts are still here, and it's also using the Mega Slopes mod that it was designed to go with. But yeah, giving you a little bit of an idea of how these parts could go together to build a little bit of a warship. Obviously, this is nothing particularly fancy, but as you can see, it's It's functional, the parts hold together. It has a vague look of being the sort of ship that could exist in real life, I suppose. A patrol boat, destroyer, whatever you call it. And yes, I think that about wraps it up for this video. If you're still here, I've got I am a games dev as well as a reviewer. I have a new game, Sel Quinta, the Six City Quest, which is an RPG coming out very shortly. I believe on the 4th next month, off the top of my head. So keep an eye out on that. There's a trailer up on the channel. Go watch it. There'll be a link in the description. I've also got another game that I already released a little while back called IORC, which is about, not about orcs, nothing to do with them at all. It's actually Impact Orbital Rescue Crew. You're kind of the fire service equivalent for falling space debris. You might also like that. Go check it out. The link to that will also be in the description. And until next time.